Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. So we have a JCB in this week that needs some attention to the headstock, some line barring and some new pins and bushes. It's a JCB 52656 with a Q-fit headstock. And it's not actually owned or operated by a farmer, isn't this machine? It's actually owned by a company that move static caravans and like log cabins or cabins. They have an attachment that goes on the front with like a ball on it, like a normal 50mm ball that's on the back of a car, and they use this for shoving the caravans and cabins about with. Now there's quite a lot of slack in the headstock, and you're saying when they've got a cabin on the front, and obviously the cabins are quite long, and then with all the slack in the headstock, it makes it very difficult to control the cabin because it's like bobs up and down, and then yeah, it's just not good. It all needs to be a lot tighter than it is. These types of headstocks, there's loads of pins. So there's a pin there, there's a pin there, there's a pin there, and then for that linkage there's another pin there, and then obviously that will have bushes in it, so then bushes can be worn. All these pins are worn, and then that maybe won't be so bad, that one at the top. But because there's so many different ones, a little bit of slack in them all adds up to be, you know, quite a lot of movement on the headstock. So yeah, that'll need line barring. Then this linkage, we'll need them sorting. And then that'll probably want line barring. That'll probably want line barring. And then I'm not sure what we'll do with that. I'll take it all in bits first, and then I can get some new pins ordered and bushes, whatever it needs, and then we can decide which ones we're going to line bar. Some we might be able to do on the mill. That linkage I think we'll be able to do on the milling machine. Put a bit of wood in there and I'll show you how much it moves before I start taking it in bits. Yeah, it looks like there's quite a bit of slack in them pins, especially them two and that one. So I'll take the headstock off first. So there's that bolt to undo in there, and you can see it, and that pin will come out, that pin to take out, and there's pipes for the hydraulic locking pins to undo, and then that's the headstock off, and then there's a bolt there to take out for that pin, another one there, but that doesn't look very good. It might take a bit of getting out, and then bolt in there, but that one's missing. Feels like that one's maybe missing as well. Anyway, yeah, we'll start taking this off now. That's the headstock off, and first thing I noticed is this bush was sticking out and it's loose in that hole. So that probably means that is going to need line barring as well, because that hole won't be round anymore and it's bigger than it should be. Carry on taking it in bits. Just take a note of how this comes in bits before I knock the pin out. So that is that bit towards the front, and that bit was in there with the grease nipple facing up over, I think. I have to look back at the video, but yeah, that pin, I had to weld a nut on the end of it, or that bolt, to get that bolt out. So yeah, we'll undo that one now, knock that pin out, and then that should drop them out. Right, we've got all this bit in bits now, so I'll give it a clean up. I didn't power wash it off first because you can never properly get in to wash all the grease out anyway, so you have to wash it off twice. So I thought I might as well save some time and just wash it off once it's in bits. Right, so I've got everything washed off now. So this headstock, yeah, definitely needs line barring because how wobbly that is. It's on a good bit of pin. And then that's the same. So yeah, both of them need line barring. One needs line barring as well because look how wobbly that is. You could see that one moving when it was all together. That's going to need line barring because the bush doesn't fit properly anymore. When I washed it, it just blew out with a power wash, and you can just slot it in and out. Take them bushes out. I'm not quite sure what the rest of the hole is like because the inner bush is still in. And this side is maybe all right, but yeah, I'm not sure on that yet. And these bits, I'm just in the process of seeing how much new ones I have before I start doing anything with these, because I can feel in there that they're badly worn. The top one has a bush in it because that pivot's on a pin, where them bottom ones is supposed to be fixed, so they haven't got a bush in them. And this other link, the bushes are broken out, but I can feel it's worn in there, so I think the reason why the bushes are broken is because the like the outer hole is worn and there's nothing to support the back of the bush. See on that one, but it's worn. You can see that hole is oval, so I'll have to do something with that as well. That one looks alright. If someone's done this before, I've put new bushes in it before. I suppose it has done 8,741 hours, so it's done a bit of work. That's that bush in there, that's not good. So yeah, definitely have to do something with that. Right, so we're going to start by line barring this hole through here. So I'm going to use the S-Power. And the S-Power comes with a 50mm bar and a 35mm bar. So I've got the 50mm bar through there now, and it's nearly tight enough to not have to worry about lining it up. There's a little bit of wobble in it. So if I set the bearings up using a 50mm bar, and then take this bar out, put the inserts in the bearing, and then use the 35mm bar to bore the holes out. And then that way I don't really have to spend any time lining it up, because it should be lined up near enough, spot on. As I say, there's a little bit of wobble there, but. And then for my S-Power, I got a load of these Milwaukee pack-out boxes to put it in, so everything I need is in there now. So I'll get that unpacked, get the bearings welded on, and then get that one bored out. I'm not sure whether the S-Power bore welder apparently is not very good for boring small holes. The torch is on the wrong angle, but I've not used it yet, so we'll see whether I can use that or not. Right, so we're all set up now on that top hole. So I've changed it over onto the 35mm bar. You just put them adapters in, and then that sleeve on there to drive off. And got my control box plugged in. So I just need to put a tool in there, and then we cut that first one through, and then this second one I'll go back through that way. So we've got that tool sitting there now. It will take out, I'm not sure how much it'll take out, but just want it slightly oversized. So then when we weld it back up, we've got a bit of thickness of weld, and it will clean the hole out as well. It's unbelievable how quiet this thing runs. It's lovely. So running at 255 RPM. There isn't any way of seeing how fast your feed's going. Just going to go off that. So I'm just going to take a little bit more out because you can see on the bottom there it hasn't fully cleaned the hole up. So I'll move the tool on a little bit and we'll do another pass through there. Right, on to the second hole now, back through that way. Right, so that's that first pass done through the second one, and that's cleaned that up nicely, so that will do for that. So I can take this out now, and I want to see if we can use the bar welder with the S-Power machine. Now, a lot of people say that the S-Power is not very suitable for doing like smaller bars, but most of the bars that I do are like 50 and 60 mil, which is sort of classed as a smaller bar. So this is what it comes with, but apparently it's not at a steep enough angle, the torch, when you're doing a smaller bar. So whether I can adapt it and bend it and make it point at a better angle, I don't know, but we'll take this out and get it set up and see what we need to do. So for the bar welder is 40 mil, that bar is 50 mil, and the little bar is 35 mil. So there's another set of these. So you take that out, put this in, and then that makes it down to 40 mil. And there'll be one for there as well. That's maybe, I don't know which is which. To shim it down to 40 mil, and then you keep adding on sections of the welding torch to get it as long as you need it. Right, so I think I've got that set up, well, I've got it bent round a bit, so it's a bit more of an angle, and that hopefully shouldn't be too far off. I'll try that. It might not be pointing down enough, but hopefully it should be alright. So I just need to get the welder out now and then put this threads down inside there, and then like tightens up onto that. So then that's like your liner down inside your welding torch. And then it's just on like a Euro fitting on the other end. And then that wire there connects up to the box. And then you start and stop it on there. There is different options on here as well for like welding half of the hole up and then welding back half around. So it goes halfway around the hole, stops, and then goes back, I think, but I've not really got into any of that lot yet. So this will be the first time I've used it for bar welding. And only the second time I've used it for actually boring holes through. Don't know what that means. Right, so I think I'm ready for a go. A bit nervous in case it doesn't go to plan, but So I've got the welder set at 125 amps and 19.5 volts. We're on 1mm wire. And we're using 80-20 gas. That's set at 40mm because apparently it goes around too fast if you have it set at the actual bar size. So that's sort of as slow as it'll go. So now if I press that button, it should start welding. Come with some remotes as well, but I haven't got any batteries for them because they're like funny little batteries. So that would have been handy. Anyway, I'll have to manage to just press the buttons on there. Right, so I've got that welded round. I'm pretty pleased with how that went. It looks like it's done a good job in there. I'm not convinced all these buttons on here work though, because you press, there's a button that says no feed welding, which you'd think, like at the start of the hole and the stop of the hole, you could do with doing a run round first without it feeding in the spiral. But when you press that, all it does is weld in one place. It doesn't turn, it doesn't feed and it doesn't turn. All it does is turn the welder on. And then some of these other buttons, I ain't quite sure what they all do, but anyway, what I wanted it to do. So I think I'll take that torch out. I'll measure that hole now. I'll make sure I'll get back to 50mm. I might have to do another run through it. If not, then we can change onto the other side. I think I might have to put the whole thing onto the other side because I don't think the torch will be long enough to reach all the way through. I don't think I have any more sections. I've got one more section. We'll see, it might reach all the way through. If not, I'll have to change it over. That measures like 47mm now, so that should be enough welding there. And that does reach through far enough to do this one. I'll just have to put that other section in so that the drive has something to pull on. That's that second one done. That looks nice. So yeah, we'll take the bar welder out now and then put the bar back in and bar that back through to the size it needs to be. I've got that first cut done. I'm just looking at the pin sizes now. That this is like the parts from JCB, or Paxton's have sent me these. Pins are like 49.9, 49.85, 49.9. The one I want, that one there, doesn't say the dimensions of that one. So I'm just going to go off 49.9 and get the hole as near to that as I can, or slightly over. But I want the pin to be tight, so yeah, there's no slack at all. Right, so I've done the second cut, and now I need to do the third and final cut. The hole measures now at 49.3, I measured him with that, so I need to move the tool on now that much. And then to do that, videos before you'll have all seen me use this, but then to use it on this bar I had to make some little shims, these, to shim it from 35 up to 40mm, which that is made for. So I'll put them around the bar, clamp that on, and then move my tool on. Right, so I got that first one done, and that measures bang on 50mm. So yeah, we'll take the tool out of there and move on to the second one now. So this is a final cut through now. I think that one's done. So I've chamfered them, I've sort of faced them off and chamfered them a bit. Same on the inside. So yeah, take that tool out and take the bar off, and then take these bearings off then. So this one that I've just done measures sort of nearly bang on 50mm. And this old pin, this is the old one, it's a little bit worn. That fits in there nice. So the ends are a little bit worn, but that's a lot tighter than it was. So that's good. That's the sort of the bit that's not as worn, and there's no wobble at all on that, so that's good. For this one down where the bush was loose, I think I can maybe get away with just line barring this side. I can slide the barring bar through again like I did with that one. There's a little bit of wobble, but it's accurate enough to line the bar up, I would have said. And then just do the same as I did before, slide the bearings on there, tack them on, or weld them on, take this bar out and then put the 35mm bar in, and then I can maybe use the bar welder to weld around the inside of the bush to get the old bushes out, to shrink them, knock them out, and then bar this side out, and then bar weld it, and then bar it back to size. And then this side should be alright just with some new bushes in, hopefully. Right, so that's all set up on that one now. So I've got the welding torch in. I'm just going to run a few runs of weld around the inside of the bush. It'll just be easier doing it with this than it will be by hand. Then the bush should shrink and knock out. So there's 2 bushes in this side and only 1 in this side. That's that bush out, so there's just them other 2 at that end to knock out now. But I'll knock them 2 out once I've finished doing this side, because otherwise I'll have to take this off. And they're alright in for now. I only need to take them out to replace them. While these ones I've had to take them out to bar it and re-weld it again. We're set up to cut this one now. Got the tool in there at the other side. And then I've got a mark on there where I need to stop because there's a shoulder in there for the bush to sit up against. Right, so I've done one pass of weld through that hole. That's what it looks like afterwards. I think, well, I'm hoping that'll be enough. Hoping I don't have to put another pass through it. I've just got this bit of tube through there. I'm just knocking this bush out, and then I can measure the diameter of that hole, so I know what size to machine this one back out to. Right, so we're on the final cut with this now, so this should bring it out to 59.95 roughly. Been up to that mark on there, so I know where to go to for the step on the inside. And that mark gets up to there, we know we're about at the depth. Right, that's that one done then, so we'll smooth the rest off with the grinder. A little bit of a lip there, but yeah, that should be done, so we can take all this lot off and then we'll put them bushes into there. I'm just measuring this now, and that measures 59.9960 mil, so that should be absolutely bang on. Yeah, that should be bang on what we want. Somewhere around there, and it looks, well, I'll show you when I got the bearing off, but it looks spot on. Can't really see, I'll show you in a minute. Right, so that's what the bar looks like now after I've got the bearings taken off. And it looks good as that. There's no dodgy bits of weld anywhere or anything. There's a bit of a burr on that end where I've been like cutting up to the step, but that doesn't matter. I've just smoothed the end off with the grinder a bit. So that's ready for the new bushes to go in now. Been and got all the new pins and bushes and everything for it. I got 2 new ones of these because, well, they're £195 each of them, so I thought by the time I tried to sort these out, I might as well just got some new ones. Plus that hole in there is tapped and threaded, so if I was going to weld over that, that'd be another problem I'd have to try and sort out. So for the price of new ones, I'm just going to put new ones on. The thing is, they aren't very good. If I'd bored them out myself and they were that slack, I wouldn't be very happy. So, yeah. I wouldn't class them as being very good, but I suppose that's how JCB intended it to be, but it's just too slack in my opinion. So we've got 4 new of these, 4 new bushes to press in, so we'll get them put in. The hollow jack to pull them in. So put the threaded bar through, some plates on the end, and then press them in with that. I've got them bushes pressed in. I've also put the seals in as well. So that's that pin. Fits nicely through there. So that's back to how that should be. So I'll grind these off now. A bit there to smooth off. And then that's this bit done. I just need to run a drill or something, die grind or something through them holes just to clear the bolt hole out. And then I've actually got some yellow spray to spray all these bits with. Some JCB yellow. So I've given that a quick spray over. It's real horrible thin paint, so it doesn't cover it very well, so I'll have to give it a few more coats yet. But that's that bit done, so I'm going to do this headstock now. So yeah, that pin and that pin both need line boring through. So I think what I'll do is I'll turn the forklift round and put the headstock over there, still on the tines, and then all my stuff's out over there ready, rather than having to move everything through here. If I can, should be able to get the forklift backed in there and swung round.